All right, good evening. Meteorologist Zach Gilday here for this update. It is 11:19 Friday evening, and it is looking quiet right now, but pretty soon I think it's going to be getting a bit active. Looking north from our Posey Mountain camera, we can actually see a little bit of lightning, and I think the coverage here is going to be increasing tonight. We can see if these buttons work. Having a little bit of difficulties here connecting some accounts to the stream, and this keypad seems to not want to work either. But here's a view from Posey Mountain looking north, and you might be able to see some lightning if you wait a bit. But I do think tonight there will be some chances for storms across the area, and some of these storms could be severe. And I do think the flooding threat for the weekend looks to be pretty significant. So a lot of people probably have Memorial Day weekend plans. You might want to rethink those because this weekend looks active. Now, I do want to show you the forecast here, just in case you missed it, because it is a active forecast. Pretty much every day has a severe storm threat. And just getting the camera following me. Look at what we're dealing with here. 4 to 7 inches of rain. If this happens, which I think it will, we could be seeing significant flooding for the weekend. It says 7-day precipitation forecast, but this is mainly for tonight's and through the weekend. So the weekend here, 3 days, this is mainly a 3-day total. Zooming in, we have the orange area. That's 7 to 10 inches, and that is a lot of rain. We do not need the rain. The ground is already saturated. Any more rain will give us some issues. Here, look at the radar. Now, these aren't the storms that we have to worry about. Across Kansas, we can see the radar is working again. I do see that comment earlier during the evening. Actually, during the 6 o'clock newscast, the radar stopped working, and that was that was a big inconvenience because at the same time that happened, there was a severe storm. But yeah, we can see a severe storm watch to our north, and those are the storms right there that we have to watch out for. I think these will be moving into our area tomorrow morning around daybreak. Check out this flood watch. This is in effect for the whole area pretty much. Just our far southern counties are not included. But Saturday 1 a.m. to Sunday 7 in the evening, multiple rounds of heavy rain leading to flooding. Rain widespread, 4 to 6 inches, isolated 8 to 10 inches of rain. That is a lot of rain. Kendall, that's a lot of rain. And is it going to storm again tonight in Northwest Arkansas and tomorrow around 1 in the afternoon? I think it is. I'll show you that future track in just a second. See, the tornado threat is there this weekend, and I will highlight that in just a second. But I do think the flooding is going to be the main threat. Yeah, the radars are up, but there was some issues with the it was downstream, so it was with the connection, and we lost the radar for a little bit today, and that was not good. Yeah, the radars were down right during the 6 o'clock newscast, which is not good. I see a lot of comments coming in. That is the flood watch, and here's a look from Rogers. Looks pretty quiet from that angle. Temperature is 68. The wind is easterly. There is a frontal boundary making its way through, and we can kind of see it based on the current conditions. 72 in Poto. The warm front is kind of along Interstate 40 right now. Here is a future track. Isolated showers and storms possible tonight, this evening, but look at it as we get further into the night towards daybreak, here's Saturday, 6 a.m. This is when that severe storm threat is going to be on the increase. Look at this. That's trouble. So this is what we call a QLCS MCS deal right here, mesoscale convective system, and we can see this it's kind of bowing out. So it's not completely straight like this. Let me actually draw. So it's not completely straight. It's got a bow to it. That means the wind threat is going to be a big deal, and all along this line, we could see a brief spin up tornado. Here's 8 a.m. That's trouble. Here's 9 a.m. That is trouble. Heading into 10 a.m. the afternoon, I think there will be a little break in the action tomorrow, but tomorrow morning, early afternoon, we are going to have to pay a close eye on the radar. Meteorologist Peyton Langford will most likely be in here tomorrow morning because I got to get a little bit of rest. That's why for this Facebook Live, I'm not going to go all night. I'll probably go maybe a half hour to 1 hour, and then I have to go home. I have to cook food for the weekend because we're going to be in for it for this weekend. Yeah, so what time tonight? Late tonight into early tomorrow morning. Here's the risk. So we are in between risks here. So we have a day one. This goes through 7 a.m. Notice how all hazards will be on the table here. A 2 out of 5 slight risk. This is through 7 a.m. Saturday. This is after 7 a.m. Saturday. It's pretty much slight risk throughout the whole time frame here of these storms. Here's after 7 a.m. Saturday through Sunday 7 a.m. Another slight risk for severe weather. And here's the model taking you into the afternoon. So little breaks during the afternoon. That doesn't look too bad for Saturday afternoon, but still keep an eye on the radar. The models do not do a good job with this northwest flow pattern. This could be underdone. I do want to stress that. And then here's overnight once again, Saturday night into Sunday morning. That could be tornadic as well. Another MCS, a mesoscale convective system, diving in all along this edge right here. There could be a spin up tornado, and the straight line winds will be a deal, and maybe even a little bit of supercells coming in. The wind shear will be off the charts tonight into tomorrow morning, and I imagine it will be once again tomorrow night into Sunday morning. So severe weather will be a possibility. The worst thing to do this weekend is to camp. For the outdoor plans, we are going to have secondary options. So through Saturday evening, a little break in the action. But late Saturday evening into Sunday morning, there will be storms in the forecast. Here's Sunday 7 a.m. That's trouble. The rain becomes more widespread Sunday afternoon into the evening. And here are the breaking down the hazards. So we have all hazards are on the table. Tornadoes, that is there. Large hail, damaging wind. So it's not just a rain event. And that damaging wind, I do want to increase that to 70. Because looking at the latest, I think damaging winds are going to be an issue. And potentially, we've seen the past couple nights, 80 miles, 70, 75, 80. That can't be ruled out. And we have this. This is excessive rainfall forecast. Scattered flash flooding possible. This is a day 2, Saturday morning through Sunday morning. But look at this. A rare day 3, moderate for the excessive rainfall forecast. Widespread flash flooding is possible Sunday morning through Monday morning. As we go further into the weekend, the flood chances are going to be going way up. And I wouldn't be surprised if we had to do TV cut-ins for flooding this weekend because this could be a serious deal. I really can't stress it enough. Flooding, turn around, don't drown. It is not going to be a good deal Here's the European model, widespread rain Sunday into Monday. Your Memorial Day looks very soggy. And another severe storm threat for Monday. Here's Sunday into Monday, a day 3. So every day this weekend has a severe storm threat, and every day the flood threat will be going up. Damaging winds, large hail, tornado, and flash flooding. Those are all in store for us on the day 3, Sunday morning through Monday morning. Significant hazards look to mainly stay to our west, but all severe hazards will be possible on Sunday and Monday. I feel like a broken record. That is the third severe storm risk I had to mention. And here's a computer model showing the rain through Tuesday morning. 7 to 10 inches of rain. That is not a good deal. So that's the forecast. Here's the radar. What's happening now? Severe storm in Oklahoma by Stillwater, a ways away. But those storms are going to be coming our way. So let me just go through all the comments here. Yeah, I do not want severe weather here. Saturday, 7 a.m. Yeah, that's the time that I'm the most concerned about for tomorrow. And then again, tomorrow night could be a deal too. Next week, I could show you the 7-day. Why not? Just in case you missed the 10 o'clock newscast, we have got Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Looks like it's raining all day, every day in that 3-day stretch because it very well might. I think there will be a few breaks Saturday afternoon, evening, but keep an eye on the radar. Sunday looks pretty rainy. Monday, same deal. Tuesday, Wednesday, next week, the forecast stays pretty active. We have some 30s and 20% in there, but as we get closer, those might have to go up. And I could show you this right here, just to give you an idea of what we're thinking for the rainfall chances here. Here's timeline. We can see tonight going way up to 90% chance. Chances go down to near nothing tomorrow afternoon briefly, but then going right back up to likely for your Sunday. That's Northwest Arkansas, River Valley. Looks pretty similar. Maybe a little bit less of a chance because we are in Northwest flow. So River Valley might be a little bit less, and I think these storms might be, especially tonight. Well, actually, I think tonight will be both areas, but tomorrow night potentially mostly Northwest Arkansas. But things could change. Yeah, if there's Bike Fest, a lot going on this weekend. Then we have a softball game tomorrow. That might be an issue. Eureka Springs does fall in the coverage area. Hey, no need to be scared. Just have ways to receive warnings, and I do want to show you those. I will show you the ways to receive warnings at the end of this. And I'll show you the future track one more time. So I'll read these comments, get through them, and then we'll do future track again. I'll show you the radar, and then I'll show you ways to receive warnings. So we don't have to be scared. Yep, just checking up here. Okay, so Brendan, no, tonight you don't. We will wake you up if these storms are needing to be watched. Tomorrow morning, 5 a.m., 6 a.m. I think that's when the severe chances are going to be going out. So around daybreak, depending on when you get up, Saturday morning, probably not 5 a.m., but 5, 6, 7, that's when the storm chances are going to be going up. All right. Yes, there is a tornado risk tomorrow, and that comment was 10 minutes ago. So we already went over that. And yeah, we could see one or two spin up tornadoes tomorrow morning, and maybe again tomorrow night. That line does look nasty. You're driving in that. See, you really don't want to be on the roads, especially when the flood threat goes up. And as we go further into the weekend, that flood threat, that's going to be a serious deal. Yeah, Monday, same deal. Widespread rain, and there will be some chances for severe weather. It is low, but not zero. Oh no, northwest flow. You know it. When will it stop raining? Well, it's not raining right this second, but it will be. Well, actually, it is raining. Take that back. Just to show you, northwest flow. There's Carroll County. We do cover Eureka Springs. Some rain. No storms yet, but it's trying. Off to our west, that is severe. So I am concerned about tonight. Um, I believe Northwest Arkansas does have storm shelters, and we have a list of storm shelters across the area on our website. Uh, I myself have to brush up on where those are, but the website does list storm shelters across the area. Yeah, sorry, the weekend forecast really. I don't make the weather. Not trying to overhype stuff here, but the weekend forecast looks pretty nasty. Tomorrow, I do think there will be a break in the action tomorrow afternoon, evening, but the morning does not look good, and tomorrow night does not look good. Great comment. Straight line winds can do damage. Edward, good evening. Just the upper level pattern. The energy keeps coming in. No, there's no guaranteed, but it will be a possibility. I tell you what, the wind shear looks off the charts. Yeah, there was a new confirmed tornado for the Huntsville, and no, we do not have the path yet. Sorry, it's just been a day. Dan is out of town, and it's just been me and Peyton. Peyton left early, holding down the fort, and just haven't had a chance to with all these blogs that I've been writing. I mean, one blog, but still. Tomorrow morning, be weather aware, and tomorrow nights, and beyond that, the uncertainty gets higher. But the whole weekend, just be weather aware. Be weather aware. Instability is not very great right now, Carrie. Hey, camera, why aren't you following? Come on. Yeah, my X account for some reason isn't working. Nope. I don't know why that happened. Never seen that before. Technical issues are happening. But ingredients. All right. Ready? Instability is very low right now. Stand by. Storm field is to our southwest, but even though the instability is low, I can tell you what's probably not low is this. The energy helicity index. So there's the amount of spin in the atmosphere with those updrafts. And it's just a model. It does have it staying mainly southwest of us. Let's look at the significant tornado parameter. I think that's underdone in my opinion. It doesn't really have it, but I do think that might be underdone as well. They're just models, and they always underdo northwest flow pattern. And there is a boundary in the vicinity too. You can see that energy coming in, and check out this model. GFS rain totals through 10 a.m. Tuesday. Upwards at 8, maybe 9 inches. Yes, and we'll go over that at on the end, Edward. Yeah. Yeah, the low threat, but the threat is there. You got it right. Oh, Brittany, tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. to go to work? That's not good. Here's a future track. Depending on what time you are going to work, here's 4 a.m. Northwest Arkansas could be getting pretty loud. But right on your commute, 9 a.m., you might want to get there a little bit earlier. Wake up, look at the radar, but you don't want to be driving in this. That's even more menacing than what it showed earlier. Tomorrow morning, I do have some concerns. Um, yeah. So here's the timing. We can see this line coming in. 8 a.m. Maybe a little bit earlier. 8 to 10 tomorrow looks pretty bad. Main concern is the flooding, and that will increase the further along we get here throughout the weekend. But each day we'll have a severe storm threat. All right, just reading comments. Probably. Yeah, there is some thunder in the area. Boone, Newton County, Carroll County. Well, tonight, depending on when your nighttime ends, for me, I think night will end at like 6 a.m. But I think very late tonight into tomorrow morning, there will be chances for severe weather. So around 6, 7 a.m., we need to be weather aware through around 11 a.m. Could change though. Yeah, potentially. But we have no flood warnings right now. See, flooding is kind of a wait and see thing because it's kind of hard to predict where the heavier rains will cause those issues. But the atmosphere, the ground is saturated, and we do not need the rain. And this rain, I do think, sadly, will put us over the edge, and where there will be some flood warnings. And if the flood warnings are observed, and if they're affecting people's lives and property, we'll provide coverage. So you can go to sleep, but get ready for early wake up when those storms come in here. Yeah, we could see a spin up tornado tomorrow. We could see that. All right. Appreciate all the comments. If I don't get to them, sorry. Really, yeah. Hope it's not a big deal. Um, at 11, so 3 minutes old here. Hail tomorrow morning, not a crazy concern. Tomorrow morning, mainly the winds and the spin up tornadoes. But that being said, though, there still could be some hail, and I do think that's um, well, with the wind shear, the hail might actually be an issue. It's just a very tough forecast here with all this energy coming in from the northwest. All hazards are on the table. I don't think tomorrow morning will be like what we saw Sunday afternoon. Well, this is different, Edward. The ground is saturated. So, what's the rain look like from 12 to 5? So, I assume you mean tomorrow, 12 noon to 5 p.m. I, there might be a little break in the action. I think 12 to 1 might see some rain, but after that, there could be a break. But still, keep an eye on the radar. All right. All caught up on the comments. I want to show you the future track. I do want to zoom out here on this future track too, though. Let me just get rid of that. Will there be tornado threats, watches, warnings for Springdale? Yes. Pretty much the whole area tomorrow. I'll show you that in just a minute. But here's a future track. Storms. This is in the future. Look at these storms across Kansas. By Wichita, or actually well west of Wichita, but western Kansas. Those could be coming into our area. That's trouble. So tomorrow morning, daybreak, we have to be weather aware. That's the future track. a wide view, showing you where those storms are coming from. Tomorrow afternoon, maybe a break in the action. Here is the risk. No. If you have a 9:30 tea time tomorrow, that's not good. That would not be okay with an umbrella. I think that might be a joke, but if it's not, and if you're just joining, Matthew, those storms tomorrow will mean business, and you do not want to be in the golf course. Yeah, there's a possibility. Yeah, yeah, but I think the models are underdone, and I think that there will be storms by 6 a.m. for some areas. Yeah, if you're in a warning, you should take shelter. If you're in a tornado warning, you should take shelter. And I do want to show you how we get the warnings. You can download the weather app, and might have been alerted about this live stream from the weather app. If you download this app, you will get notifications for these live streams. So you get a little update. Live stream starting now. You get instant weather alerts. We do send them throughout the day, and we send updated weather videos and timing videos pretty much daily. There is a radar, there is an interactive radar, and it makes it real simple to send us pictures and videos of storms. Now that's one way to receive updates. But here is a great way to receive the watches and warnings from the National Weather Service. So, Weather Call Next Gen, 12 to $15 a year, depending on if you get the lightning. So pretty much $1 a month. It is so worth it. You get hyper local alerts. What that means is you will only be alerted when you're in the storm polygon. So your phone won't go nuts all day. You will just be alerted when you need to be alerted. Calls, texts, emails to subscribers only within the storm polygon. You will get calls for tornadoes, immediate phone alerts for observed tornadoes, and warning upgrades. So every tornado warning, you will get a phone call. For severe storm warnings, you will get a text message for all of them, but a call when we get extreme thunderstorm alerts. And that means when the winds are over hurricane force, so over 70 miles per hour, or golf ball sized hail. And you will also get calls to landlines. So if you live in a rural area with poor cell service, if you have a landline, this service will call the VM landline. Super easy to set up, only $12 to $15 a year. And we're partners with them, and people love this service, and it's really good. I just got my parents signed up for it. Yeah, it just goes to show how these alerts can be life-saving. All right. People talking about the heat. Yeah, I could go for some of that right now too. Just get these storms out of here. Tomorrow night is kind of uncertain, but I do think late night, maybe after midnight, potentially. Yeah. So watching the radar, we are doing it. And I'll tell you what we will do. We will come back on the Facebook Live. If you download the app, you will get an update saying we're going live. If these storms are worth mentioning, we will go live again tonight and tomorrow morning. We will be watching the radar all weekend. Well, there really isn't much instability right now, but that could be changing. So right now, I can show you what the cap is, but it will most likely erode. Stand by for that. Come on, camera. Camera's not doing its job. So there is a cap, but I think that this will be eroding, especially once that low level jet kicks in tonight. You'd be surprised the instability can return overnight. Yeah. So not much cap tomorrow morning. And the wind shear will be off the charts. Yes. Yeah, Paul. Yeah, it will be less than what we saw on Monday, but not zero. So here's the radar. It's pretty quiet right now, but it's going to be acting out. We can already see storms forming up there to the north of. Whoa. Come on. Look at these storms. See, it just shows you this pattern is super active. This could be heading towards the river valley. So who knows? Okay, the cap is a layer of warm air aloft. And think warm air rises, so thermodynamics. So we have well, we're not going to have a cap tomorrow morning, but if there was a cap, you would need to have the ground heated above the temperature of the air aloft to break the cap. We have a graphic. I'll show you this real quick. Because it could be a very early morning or late nights. The cap is good if you don't want storms. So I'd say the cap is a good thing. And stand by for a look at what the cap is. So what do we got here? Cold, dry air above the cap. Here, let me scoot over here. So we got a storm forming, but we've got warmer air over this air that's cooler. So that will stop rising motion. Think of a hot air balloon. For a hot air balloon to rise, come on, camera. You have to give it heat. So, like the fire in the hot air balloon, you have to heat up the hot air balloon for it to rise. And it will keep rising until it encounters air that is of the same temperature or warmer than inside the balloon. And a hot air balloon is an air parcel that is rising, and that air parcel is the storm. So you can see stable atmosphere when we have the cap. But if we heat the surface, I saw some lightning on my opposing mountain camera. If we heat the surface, we could break the cap. See, the cap weakens. Either the cap weakens or we get some surface heating that can break the cap. Then we get a storm. So overall, the cap prevents storms from happening. So that's the explanation of the cap. So it's quiet right now, but we're going to be watching it late tonight into tomorrow morning, and we'll come back on if need be. Until then, we'll be doing live updates throughout the weekend because every day has a severe storm threat, and that flooding threat will be getting worse as we go further along into this weekend. But until then, I hope you stay safe, have a good night, and we'll keep you updated.